These are two white hairs that I found in my beard on my chin. I plucked them out so I could see if they grow back. I'm sure they will, but like, what if it's just a fluke? But this really makes me feel older in a bad way because that's irreversible. Um, I am indeed aging, and losing my hair is one thing, but my hair turning white is another. I knew that I have a gray in here somewhere, but that's the first gray beard hair that I've had. It's possible. Maybe it's just really blonde. No, but I think it's white, and it was really standing out. Like it was hard not to notice. But hey, it's okay. I figured I'd capture it now. I've got a list of things to talk about that my producers handed me. Um, I've been going too off script, so this one says talk about Carrie. Carrie was great. Watched it with Harry, and it was sad. It's like a really sad movie, but it was good. Um, and the ending, yeah. I mean, like the final shot, fantastic. Um, and then I also watched Phantom of the Paradise, which is another Brian De Palma movie, and it was closer to Rocky Horror Picture Show, I guess. It was a musical, um, and it was unexpected, but it was good. It was. It felt like a classic tragic story, which I guess it was. It was just Faust, but it was fun, and the music was good. And it was Paul Williams, who I'd recognized because he was the guy who wrote The Rainbow Connection and also a bunch of other popular songs. And he wrote this musical and then starred in the movie too, which was cool. Um, then I've also been writing my second novel, second book, whatever it is. It's just a story right now. I was inspired by what's it called? How to Become the Dark Lord and Die Trying, which Sydney made me read. Not something I'd ever read on my own, but it had first person present narration, which it's it's like I'm talking about right now. I would say I'm doing this, or like I don't know how to describe it. I write it, but don't say it. When you're narrating what you're doing in the moment, and it's interesting because it makes like a sense of urgency, but also puts the story so much more in the character's head rather than it sounding like them telling a story that already happened. And I don't like that. I don't think I really want to read a book like that. But the Dark Lord one worked in this case because it was a comedy. So trying to write a comedy inspired by that, but also Gideon the Ninth, which Laura recommended, which I could not read because it was third person, but the narrator was still sort of the first person, but it wasn't. Like there was a separation, and it kind of shook me. But I'm inspired to write like the worst, best, snarky narrator thing that I can with like a B movie plot, just a ridiculous thing. So the idea, I looked through my notes for inspiration, and one of the things in my notes was just wenwolves instead of werewolves. So I thought to write about time traveling werewolves, which sounds like a hokey, campy plot. And then Harry suggested dinosaurs. So the story now has become a werewolf in dinosaur times. And I'm having fun coming up with like just crazy, like hard to follow, or not hard to follow, just like crazy ideas that like aren't generally good, but when understood to be weird and funny on purpose, maybe is better, more digestible. I don't know. It's not like I don't think I'd ever want to read this story that I'm writing, and I think that's the challenge. I'm trying to write something that's so different from what I wrote last time. The tense is different. The person POV is different. It's funny. It's fantasy, and yeah. And I'm about 8,000 words in right now, and I think there's a lot more to write about than my last one because it's not so. Because the plot can be sprawling. It doesn't have to be so contained and immersive. The next thing on here, Oingo Boingo. I just love them. I keep going back to that first album because it's unlike anything I've heard. It just sounds so good. And I sometimes I'll be on chat at work, which means I'm not on the phones. I'm just there in case someone uses the chat on our website. And during those times, I can just listen to music during work, and it's really nice. And Oingo Boingo is one of them. But then also Quincy, the album that I uploaded to YouTube years ago. It was always bad on Spotify, but it was finally updated, and it's good now. And oh my god, listening to it was like listening to it for the first time again, because I have not listened to the record in a while. It's an incredible album, and it's still in my top 10, it's so hard, top 20. It was influential for me for sure, and it still is so inspiring. So I'm trying to make an Oingo Boingo Quincy style song. Next is Tremors. I watched Tremors yesterday. It was really fun. I wasn't expecting it to be so fun. It was like an action horror comedy, and it felt really good. And I was just along for the ride the whole time. I really enjoyed it. Played Daggerheart today, and that was great. And I'm playing my character, Ogun, and Harry did a cool thing where he'll like describe something, but then like leave something blank and ask us to describe it, and I think that was engaging in a cool way. And we leveled up, and leveling up in Daggerheart, it just seems so much better than D&D. It was really fun, and I'm excited for level 2. And then I was a little sick of all the horror movies, even though Tremors and Phantom of the Paradise weren't really horror. There was still the genre that was listed. So I just watched The Sure Thing with John Cusack, directed by Rob Reiner. And it was cute. And it was a good change of pace. Much needed. That's my alarm that says time to get off the computer. It is probably time for that. I don't think I have anything else to talk about. That's everything that they gave me. I won't go off script this time. That's it. Good night.